Hey, this is just a response to Matt and Thomas's series of videos. Also, Matt's put in the controversy into context video, which followed that. Good series of videos. If you haven't watched them, please go and check them out. But yes, I do applaud both of you for thinking outside of the box, considering the role of ideology in shaping epistemic and empirical observations within science and the philosophy of mind, psychology, all these other disciplines. But as you know, I am a materialist, and I am somewhat of a skeptic on these issues. So there were a few things that struck me about the series in its entirety. Firstly, I think you really strawmanned materialism to some degree. I think what you presented as materialism was not materialism at all, or if it was it was a very certain type of materialism which not many people endorse. Certainly I don't endorse this type of materialism, but the implicit assumption was that materialism could not account for empathy. It could not account for quantum phenomena. In fact, it completely denies it, and it couldn't account for any of these observed phenomena, which apparently empirical evidence shows us. So therefore, there needs to be some sort of scientific revolution. And again, while I do applaud your efforts, I am very skeptical. You presented materialism again as denying certain quantum entanglement elements, or quantum entanglement phenomena, which I did go on to in my Entangled in Entanglement video. And well, indeed, this phenomena occurs. It does show us that the universe is ultimately interconnected at every single level, and I take great pleasure in that. It is something very spiritual on some level. But it's not the only phenomena that shows us that the universe is interconnected. As I said before, if you have one element in a universe, it has no mass to define it, it has no gravity, it has no charge. So I think the very nature of the universe is interconnected, but also materialist views do take into account empirical evidence. But I don't want to be jumping headfirst into certain assumptions or interpretations of quantum physics, because I don't think we know enough. It's baffled physicists for 80 years now, well, nearly 90 years. So I don't know. I don't think we ought to be making too many assumptions based on what this shows us, because I think there are too many pitfalls. If I were to make any assumptions, I'd go for something like a hidden variables approach. But anyway, the second issue was, you said science is a particular method, and materialism is a particular ideology. Well, this is true to a certain degree. The scientific method has to concern itself with the material world. It can't concern itself with anything removed from that. And this is fundamental to the nature and progression of science. So we can't separate them perhaps as easy as you made out that we could, because again, science only concerns itself with the material observable world. So there is a very strong relationship between the two. And as for particular psychic phenomena, things like this, one of the points that you made was one can only know it through experience. And I have great difficulty with this myself, because our experiences can always be wrong. Think of Loftus and Palmer, their revision of memory. Think of the amount of sightings of UFOs, the amount of clairvoyance psychics, the readers of tarot cards, UFO sightings. I'm sure you don't subscribe to all those particular phenomena, but at the same time, some of the people that have experienced it are completely convinced that this particular phenomena has occurred to them, and it's unexplainable by conventional science. So I do have some difficulty accepting the known from experience argument, which is why I think the scientific method is very, very important. Also, the fact that if something is remotely improbable, no matter how remotely improbable, given enough time and enough sample data, it becomes inevitable. It's like, not inevitable in the sense that it definitely must happen, but inevitable in the sense that if I have 100-sided dice and I throw it from now to the rest of eternity, it's inevitable that it will land on 95 once. So it's that sort of inevitability that I'm talking about here. So if we were to accept an explanation that defied the current materialist views, it would deny pretty much the past however many years, since the time of Galileo. It would deny all of everything that we've learned since then would be up in huge debate. So given those two options, either this phenomena has occurred, or there's some other explanation for this phenomena which doesn't involve a revision of the however many years of scientific progress, then I would prefer to go for the latter explanation, simply because of the improbability of it being not described by physical laws, and the almost inevitability of improbable events occurring.